All right, let's just jump right in. Picture this. You're running a marketing agency, and you've basically struck gold. I mean, you've created a service that clients are just begging for, and your growth is, well, it's just exploding. We are talking about some seriously massive revenue numbers.
How massive? How about $500,000? Yeah, that's the kind of money we're talking about. The kind of figure that most founders would spend years just trying to get close to.
And here's the kicker. You didn't do it in years. Nope. You did it in just 4 months. From 0 to $500,000. That is just insane hypergrowth. It's the kind of thing you dream about, right? It feels like you found the cheat code to the whole game.
So of course, with that kind of wind at your back, what do? You start aiming higher, way higher. You're not just thinking about the next 100K anymore. You're thinking about the big leagues. The goal? 8 figures. But this is exactly where the dream starts to turn into a bit of a nightmare.
See, according to entrepreneur Alex Hormozi, this perfect scenario, this incredible run of success, it's actually just setting the stage for a ton of pain. He has let's just say, a very blunt prediction about what's coming for you.
Yep, that's it. No messing around, no sugarcoating. He's convinced that the exact path that looks so amazing from the outside is about to get brutally difficult. That early success, it's completely misleading.
So here's the real kicker. The business model that launched you to $500,000 so fast, that's the very thing that's going to cause you these massive, soul-crushing headaches on your way to 3, 5, or 10 million. It's basically a trap, just dressed up to look like success. So why? What's actually causing all this future pain?
Well, Hormozi boils it all down to one single, fundamental problem: who you're selling to. It's not about your marketing genius or how great your sales team is. Nope, it's all about your customers. And his opinion is, well, it's pretty unfiltered. He just comes right out and says it. SMBs, small to medium-sized businesses, they just suck as customers. He thinks they're an incredibly tough market to serve if you actually want to scale and be profitable. You know the type. They want the world, but they can't really pay for it.
And just so we're all clear on what we're talking about here, when he says SMBs, he's talking about a very specific group. Companies doing between, say, $500,000 and $2.5 million in revenue. According to him, that right there, that's the danger zone.
Okay, so if serving these kinds of businesses is a one-way ticket to misery, what do? This is where the real strategy comes into play. Hormozi argues that you can't just keep grinding it out. You have to stop and make a very conscious, very deliberate choice. You've hit a fork in the road.
And he's crystal clear about this. There is no middle path. You can't hedge your bets and try to do a little of both. If you want to get to that massive scale, that 8-figure dream, you have to go all in on one of 2 very different paths.
So what are the choices? It really boils down to this. Path 1 is the premium model. We're talking higher prices, way more service, and going after those elite top-tier clients. Path 2, that's the volume model. Lower price, almost no hands-on service, and just aiming for the mass market. They're complete polar opposites.
All right, so let's actually break these down. What do these 2 paths really look like? How do you actually do one or the other?
Okay, first up, the premium path. This is the go-up-market strategy. The whole idea here is to just elevate everything you do to attract a totally different, more sophisticated kind of client.
And it's really a 2-step process. First, you have to seriously increase your prices. And I don't mean just tacking on 10%. I mean you're jumping into a whole new price bracket. And then, second, that higher price naturally forces you to serve what he calls a higher avatar. A client who's bigger, has a real budget, and fully expects that premium white glove treatment.
But what if going upmarket isn't your thing? Well, there's the other path. The alternative is to basically stay in your current market, but you have to completely change how you operate. This is the volume play. This one also has 2 key steps. First, you actually lower your price. You make it so cheap it's an absolute no-brainer for the mass market. But, and this is so important, for that to work financially, you have to be ruthless about your service delivery. You have to engineer it to be, as Hormozi says, almost nothing. It's all about crazy efficiency, tons of automation, and getting rid of any and all of that hands-on work so you can actually keep your profit margins. So, let's wrap this up. What's the big takeaway here? The most important thing to get is that the middle ground is basically a death trap if you want to scale. Trying to give amazing, high-touch service for a low price, especially to small businesses, that's just a recipe for burning out and failing. You have to pick a lane, premium or volume,
and then make absolutely sure that your pricing and your service delivery are perfectly aligned with that decision.
And really, that brings us to the final question, the one this whole framework pushes you to answer. You've seen the two paths that actually work for massive scale, and you've seen the trap that's waiting right in the middle. So the question for you is, if the middle ground is misery, which path are you going to choose?